Welcome, everybody. I'm Noreen Savage, and this is Starting Out Bright. I am so glad you're here, and you are in for a treat because Jaleh is in the house. And before we get started, I just want to introduce myself to you, especially who I am and who I'm not. First of all, I am nobody official with Bright Line Eating. I'm just doing these to hopefully help you on your journey. And to tell you a little bit about mine getting into BLE, it was 2019 in May, and my friend Lori posted on Facebook something pretty common, but she said that she lost 57 pounds on a program called Bright Line Eating. If anybody was interested, they could check her out. And so my hot little fingers got over to Messenger as fast as I could to find out why she held out on me for a whole year, for one. But seriously, I just wanted to know what this magic was about Bright Line Eating. And she proceeded to tell me that there was a book by that name by Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson. And in the book, Dr. Thompson talks about a program with 4 bright lines you don't cross. No sugar, no flour, 3 meals a day, weighed and measured portions. And when Lori told me that, I felt sunk because I thought there's absolutely no way I could do that. But here I was at 270 pounds, 5'2". I had been dieting for almost 3 decades, but I just thought there was no way I could do that. But I love my friend Lori. We got up together for lunch, and she proceeded to tell me a little bit more about the program. And she suggested 2 things. 1, get the book, and 2, get in the community. And it was a private group she suggested, We Eat Bright with Lines. Today, there are many groups, probably hundreds, but I know of at least 50, including Starting Out Bright, which is a private group associated with this Zoom chat. So if you hear me say, I'll put it in the group, that's where it's going. Any kind of suggestion like a book or anything. So anyway, I got into the We Eat Bright with Lines, and there I sat and watched and read the stories of people, their struggles, their successes. And I was just taken back by these amazing transformations that were happening right in front of me with people all over the world losing weight, 50, 100, 150 pounds. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like hope was really rising in me. And I promised myself that if I lasted 1 year doing Bright Line Eating, I would do what my friend Lori did. I would post on my private Facebook page, and I would help anybody I could. Well, I'm a Christian. When that year came up, it was July 2020. I waited 2 months before I got started. It was July 2020. And I felt God say to me, Noreen, you can do more than that. You could post on Facebook, but you could hold Zooms and you could connect people. And that's how this was all born. And we are on number 90 today, which nobody's more surprised than me, because for each person, they took a chance on a complete stranger to tell their story. And I know why. It's because when you feel that hope in you, you can't just help but share. And that's how I found Jaleh. I was in the Bright Line Eating official group, and she was sharing her remarkable story, and I just felt the help in her to reach out to somebody else who needed it, to help them from where they were, just as she was. So tonight, please help me welcome Jaleh Chantel Fidler. You'll see her on Facebook, Jaleh Chandler, and you'll see her name that way on Instagram too. And we'll talk about that more tonight. So Jaleh, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Noreen. This is really special.
You're welcome. And as you know, we had a chance to get together by Zoom the other day. So great to get to know you. And I don't want to take up one more second talking about me. I want everybody to know how you got into Bright Line Eating, and go back as far as you want, as far as your entrance in finding BLE.
Oh, wow. Well, it's really surreal that I'm even in this situation to even talk to anybody about weight loss, because weight has been a struggle my whole adult life. So I was a healthy sized youth. I was a lifeguard and a swim instructor, really active, 130 pounds, but like had no fat on me. But I got married when I was 18. I started birth control at that time. And instantly I started gaining weight at a rapid speed. I gained 60 pounds in 3 months. And so fast. And so I went to the doctor about 30 pounds into that. So a month and a half into that, and said, I want different birth control because I'm gaining weight. And he just laughed at me and said, it's not the birth control, it's you. And so I left feeling defeated and ended up gaining 30 more pounds. Went to a different doctor who had me stop right in the middle of my cycle. So I didn't take any more pills. That stopped my weight gain, but I didn't lose it either. So it just kind of catapulted my body to that size. So I went from 130 to 190 at age 18 in 3 months, which changed my life. So I eventually got pregnant at 190. And then that just started this journey of weight problems. I bounced between 190 and 260. I think I got into the high 260s at one point. Through the years, I tried everything. Back in the day, there was like even Richard Simmons had a weight loss thing. Susan Powter, I did Weight Watchers so many times. The most I think I ever lost with Weight Watchers was like 30 pounds. I did a doctor, like whatever liquid diet for a month. I've done Medifast. I've done Unicity. I did Take Shape for Life. I even did lap band surgery. I lost 30 pounds with lap band surgery. Eventually, lap band, I just all of a sudden one day couldn't keep anything down and they had to remove it. Wow. It was an emergency surgery. They had to remove it. So, I mean, I feel like I've tried everything and nothing was really working. I just thought this was just my life, right? So I went from 18 clear until last year. I was 45. I'm 46 now. But, I'm divorced and COVID hit and I just kind of lost hope and just was eating whatever I wanted. When the divorce happened, I had kind of toyed with gluten-free, sugar-free. And I did it for 8 months and I lost 50 pounds. That's the most I've lost. And I kind of have learned that I'm sensitive to gluten. So I kind of was liking that path. But then, like I said, when COVID came, I just kind of let loose and ate whatever. And I got back up. But I felt like at that time, I felt like I was killing myself. I felt like I was dying. And I'm a single mom. I have a 25-year-old daughter who doesn't live with me. She's married. And I have a 17-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old son who are in high school, busy, active kids. And I just felt like I wasn't going to be able to be there for them. I had sleep apnea. I had plantar fasciitis. I was diagnosed with fatty liver disease. I had acid reflux really bad. I was pre-diabetic. I never had like high blood pressure. My cholesterol was high. Just pain and stiffness. I'd get out of bed and I felt like I was 80 years old. I couldn't move. I couldn't bend over. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't go up the stairs. I just thought I was dying. And I was on Facebook one day and I don't know where or who, but somebody posted, what have you guys done to lose weight? And people were posting all kinds of stuff. And I kept seeing Bright Line Eating. And I'm just like, I've never heard of that. And this woman, my friend now, Jenny Campbell, she put a picture of her before and after. It was quite significant. And she's like, Bright Line Eating. And this was the beginning of 2020. And so I wrote to her and I said, what is Bright Line Eating and what have you done? And so she was so kind to take her time to explain it to me. And she's like, it's no sugar, no flour, 3 meals a day, weighed. And I was just like, oh my goodness, no flour. And she's like, oh, I can tell you're addicted to flour. And I was thinking, no, I'm addicted to sugar. But the flour thing, because when you're gluten-free, you don't eat gluten flour, but you can have almond flour and you can have rice flour and you can have other flours. And so I was like, if I can't have those other flours, that takes away all these other foods too. So I was like, man, I don't know. And So she went ahead and mailed me her personal copy of Bright Line Eating and let me borrow the book. And I got it in the mail, and she'd check in with me every few weeks. Have you read it? And I'd say no. And I kept it for a full year before I was ready to open that book.
Wow.
And I don't know what I was waiting for, but it took me a year. So December of 2020, I was pretty hopeless. And I felt like if I didn't do something, I was never going to have the life that I wanted. And I just wasn't the person I wanted to be. And I realized that I was the one holding myself back.
Yeah. I wanted a couple of things that you said, and I just want to say, because you explained to me one about fatty liver disease, that it can be from like alcohol, but you don't drink. So it's strictly in your case from, how does that work? It's just, you have more fat in your system, and so
so you store it in your liver. Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, to be honest with you, I haven't researched it, but it's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing.
Yeah,
so
I hear it's like really tough. The other thing that I thought was just incredible was this meeting that you had with a lady that just saw you. This is the past, Jaleh, and she talked about gluten. And because when you were saying like your knuckles and everything were so stiff and everything, and she saw that in you, I thought that was pretty remarkable. Can you talk about that just a little bit, how she kind of showed you what happened with her?
Yeah, for sure. So I went to visit a friend of mine in Canada. And in fact, one of the pictures of me where I was just really large, I was at her house. And she just said to me, are you sensitive to gluten? Are you allergic to gluten? And I said, no, I don't get sick or anything. And she goes, well, I wonder if you are, because my stomach would be really distended all the time, like really hard, like larger than my breasts. And it was like rock hard all the time. I was always bloated. And the stiffness in my joints, you're right, because I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this. It was really bizarre. And I even talked to my doctor about neurological problems. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? And he's like, no. And so she said, well, let me show you, because she was sensitive to gluten. She goes, let me show you what happens when I eat gluten. And she ate some rolls. Right? Well, she stood up and she says, look at my body, and here's my stomach, and touch it, and it's soft. And then she ate some rolls, and like 10 minutes later, she stood up and she looked like she was 6 months pregnant. And her stomach was big, and it was really, really hard. And I just thought, oh my goodness, that's what my body does. That's what I look like all the time. And so that's what clued me in. So I do Bright Line Eating, but I also choose not to eat any gluten as well. And it helped. Obviously, but I think sugar did it too, and I didn't know. But I think sugar and gluten bind my joints, and they bind me, and I can't move. So those two things together.
I thought that was just incredible to even have somebody point this out, just by being able to see kind of your body type, what's going on. I've never heard of that before. So that is maybe some way.
Yeah. I asked the doctor, is there a tumor in there? Like, what is in there? Is this fat? Like, what is this? And yeah.
So you read the book. Did you join anything? Okay, you're a bookie only. You're a book
okay,
person.
So I read the book, and it just hit me. It hit me. The science of it just changed my thinking completely. It was the first thing in my life that I felt just clicked, right? And it wasn't about what gimmick's going to help me lose weight, what pill, how fast can I do it. It was about healing my brain. And that's really what got me excited, is understanding the addiction. I'm a 10 plus on the susceptibility scale, which really sucks. I don't really want to be flawed in any way, but I happen to be the worst flawed in food addiction, and just treating us like an addiction instead of just a hobby. Like, it'd be nice to lose weight because I think it'd be fun. It's actually an addiction. And so, treating it like an addiction, understanding the science of really what I was trying to do, more than lose weight, which of course I was trying to lose weight, but really just to quiet that part of my brain that lights up and feeds the addictive behaviors, to stop that and quiet that down, is really what I focused on. And I think what helped me be, successful through what I've done so far. I'm still on this journey, by the way, I have to say that.
So the part of the science that really spoke to you was just that it lights up your brain, or was there anything else? Because somebody who's watching tonight, because we'll thankfully, thanks to you, we'll be able to do this on YouTube. They may not have read the book yet. And so what is it that spoke to you the most out of that science?
Yeah. The addiction is so strong and you think you're crazy. Like, why can't I stop? And, you get started and then you fall off the wagon and you just feel like there's no hope. Like you just can't do it and you don't understand why. One part in the book, she talks about this study of rats and how the scientists had injected these rats with like liquid heroin or cocaine and got them addicted to it. And then after they had the rats addicted to cocaine, they gave them sugar water. And then decided, and then they gave them both to the rats, and the rats actually preferred the sugar water over the cocaine, to the point where they would like walk on electric floors to get to the sweets and the sugars. And it's not proven, but they estimate that sugar is over 8 times more addictive than cocaine, which makes sense. Why is it so hard? Why does my brain just think about it all the time, and obsession? And it's because the addiction is a real thing. Yeah.
So when you got started, that is just absolutely incredible, because I just really want to make that point. This is not just a diet. It's like learning about what is happening in the body, in the brain, especially with the food. It's like there's nothing wrong with us. It's just that our brain is actually now being programmed to think and desire something a certain way. So you got the book, you read it, you felt.
I read the book.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I read it up to the maintenance portion, and I kept waiting for the food plan. I'm like, where's the food plan? Where's the food plan? But once I understood how to do it, January 1st, 2021, I just dove in. And I put on Facebook, and this really helped me at first. I put on Facebook just out to everyone. I said, I'm starting this journey and I'm going to post my food online every week. Everything I eat, I'm going to post it online. And I didn't realize when I said that kind of what a journey that would put me on, and how people would start to really look forward to those posts. I really just did it for me, because I knew I was committing to myself. If I blew it or if I ate something wrong, I was going to post that too. And I didn't want anybody to see me do that. And plus, I'm really lazy, and I knew it had to be easy, and I wasn't going to write down my meals. I wasn't going to write down my food journal. So I just took a picture of it, and that was my food journal. It took me 2 seconds, 1 second. That's about as easy as I like. And it kept track of all my food, and I post it once a week. And then the weight started coming. All the good things started to happen. By the way, it took about 3 months for the bloating and the gluten and stuff to go away. It didn't happen instantly. But instantly I did start to feel better. About 6 months in, I went to the doctor. My blood pressure is at an athlete's level. My cholesterol is normal. My fatty liver disease, because I've had ultrasounds and things, is gone. My sleep apnea is gone. I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I don't have acid. Basically, I'm completely cured of all the things that I had wrong with me.
In 6 months' time, but it's such a shame you were starving to death, with this bright line eating, right?
Yeah, right. No, my favorite thing, and this is what is true from the beginning. I say it really wasn't hard the first go around. I know I did crash into some problems I'll talk about in a second, but the food chatter went away, and the cravings went away, and the hunger went away, and I just didn't think about it. And when I ate my food, I made them as nice of meals as I could, because I knew I was only getting 3 meals a day, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. I pre-make my food a lot. I pre-prep, and it takes me anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and a half to throw my food on a plate and get my meals. And no, I wasn't hungry ever. I wasn't hungry.
And from our conversation, you were saying that this was your food journal.
Absolutely.
Instead of committing the night before, you're committing publicly that you have not had what's called a BLT, bite, lick, or taste of anything except what was photographed and put together once a week and put out for public consumption. I think that was quite an accountability on your part to do that. I don't know what made you think to do it. Did you do anything like that with Weight Watchers, or was this like brand new? Because you
No,
did.
it's pretty private. You know, I'm not really excited to tell people that I'm 5'3" and I weigh 260 pounds, but I did. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a surprise. I mean, that was part of the point, is that that's another thing that really helped me get started was I didn't talk about this yet, but the integrity piece. Can I talk about that right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, my whole life, I've been pretty good at the things I want to do. And, you know, integrity, I try to be an honest person. I try to be good mom. I try to do all those things. And, you know, financially, I remember being fascinated with the fact that I could be so put together in all areas of my life. But the one area that people can see and that people can judge me the harshest on, my weight, that's the one area I couldn't be put together. And, you know, as a single person and having hopes and dreams and hopes for my future and things, I just realized that I have integrity in all these other areas and I am completely out of control with eating. And I realized that my potential inside of me, my spirit inside, who I am and what I'm capable of, I'm the one holding myself back. And I needed my body and my capability to match who I am on the inside, to really be able to achieve my hopes and dreams. And that is what really helped me keep going too, because I realized that I'm the one, my body, I'm the one that's holding me back. And I'm never going to have the life I want, and no one else is going to give it to me. I don't get a free ticket. No one's going to provide it for me but me. And so that really was a lot to help me stay motivated.
But these were your thoughts before you found Bright Line Eating too, it sounded like it was almost like a prayer, like, how can I fix what's going on in my mind and spirit?
It happened all together. So the starting Bright Line Eating and just January 1st, 2021, and just really, I didn't care how long it took. I didn't care how long it took. I was excited to see how long it took. Is this going to take a year? Is this going to take a year and a half? I had a lot of weight to lose. I'm still losing the weight. It wasn't about the destination anymore, more than it was about the journey. But really the exciting part to me, and I would give myself little rewards that were not food related. Like 50 pounds in, I bought a cookbook that I wanted. And I was really excited 100 pounds in to grab my friend's son who weighed 100 pounds and hold this giant boy and say, look, I lost this boy on my body. I don't know. Just, I was really excited. I grabbed things to look forward to. And guess what? The posts, I was really excited to be like, I'm 3 months, I'm 6 months, I'm this many days. And to post my food each week, I just kind of attached to those silly little things that kept me excited and kept me excited to share my journey. And then people started reaching out to me and it kind of became a thing, you know, and it just was awesome.
Did you branch out to Instagram at the same time? Like, or did you just find like there were so many people looking forward to these posts that you just thought, I need to have it all in one spot, or
I don't have it all. Well, I don't have it all in one spot clean. So I have Instagram and Facebook. They're linked together and it's mixed up with my personal life too. So I don't have like a private,
okay,
you know, Bright Line Eating page or anything. It's all kind of mixed up in my personal life. But every now and then I would post something in like a public forum page, like, you know, Bright Line Eating, the official room or something. So that's kind of how outside people outside my world kind of started to be aware of my food and stuff. But
yeah, like when we talked, it sounded like you first were saying, yeah, I did it alone, basically, without groups and stuff. But really, because you had this integrity that you said, I'm going to post, and you're doing it and you're getting feedback, that is group participation, whether it's whatever platform it is. And it's like you did have community with you. So how long did it take you to lose? I know you said that you had an event, but how long and how much did you lose before this event?
So I started at 260 and my goal is 140. And about March of this year, I got down to 146. And I was in charge, and I'd been perfect. I mean, I'd been perfect. I'd been to Hawaii for 2 weeks. I'd been to Florida for 11 days. I'd been through every holiday, Christmas, birthday, Mother's Day, the whole thing, Halloween, Thanksgiving. And I'd been so well. I was in charge of a women's conference luncheon for 200 people. And we had catered these brownies that were just these brownies, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I ended up with 200 brownies in my kitchen, and I knew I was in trouble, and I was trying to plate those brownies and give them away as fast as I could. I was literally running out the door trying to give these brownies away, and I just knew I was in trouble, and I slipped and ate some. Well, over 5 days, I ended up eating like 15 brownies, and I'll tell you what that did. It lit back up my brain. And that's why I say one is easier than none. Like if you get that momentum and it's automatic for you, and the food chatter's gone and you're not thinking, just know when you have one, it's just going to relight up that brain. And so now I'm fighting a little bit to calm that back down and to get that back quiet. And I mean, I have bright days, but I'll be honest with you, it's been harder this time. And so now I'm back up to 159 on my journey back down to 140. So, and I felt really bad about it, and I thought I was alone, and I was really ashamed. And I'll tell you, the second I eat something bad, I start sabotaging myself, and I'm horrible, and I'm worthless, and I'm going to gain it all back. And it just takes my hope instantly away. It does, instantly. And, I recently went to a local Bright Line eating conference here, and I really could only go to half the day, but it was a room full of, I don't know how many people, a big room full of women, and they were talking about the same thing as me, and how, they're not perfect. And it just really taught me and opened my eyes to the community of Bright Line eating, and got me excited, thinking this might be how I'm going to get down into my goal and hit maintenance, because I'm still not in maintenance. But yeah.
You know what? This is something that I have heard and learned over and over and over. And it is that once you have gone through this situation, you've hit a snag, you've hit the ditch, whatever you want to call it. Once you climb out, and it's not just the food. We're all in agreement, right? Raise your hand. We are not talking about just the food. You said it when the brain lights back up. Kayleen saying we can be so unforgiving ourselves, all of these things, the shame and all this, like we're back talking of like we were talking before we got started in the first place. And here you've lost like 100 pounds, maybe you've crept up a little bit, but it's like, we can go back to that talk in our head so fast. Like
instantly. Oh, I tell you, my hope, it just takes my hope away instantly. And so now, if I've slipped up and I've had things, I'll eat it. I can eat it. I'm happy to eat it. But the second I'm done, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm just back to miserable. I'm just back to the person that I was at 260. And I'm not that person.
No.
But my brain will always be that person. Do you see? I'm addicted. It's a food addict. I'm never going to go. This is never going to go away. I'm never going to hit a part in my life where I'm done,
What a realization, though. What an awareness. If we can come through that, and we've lived through it, and we still have clothes we can wear, if we haven't grown out of all of them,
I gave all my clothes away. So now I'm like, if I gain this back, I'm in trouble. Yeah.
See, all the more reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that, when we talked the other day, it's like, but I've kind of slipped and stuff. This is the part where we learn from example, or we are the example. And we're a little bit of both, aren't we? But I want to just congratulate you on everything that you've done. And I want to get talking about the food too, that you do, because even though it's not all about the food, a lot of it is. And in your year-long dedication of posting those pictures, you have beautiful displays of food for 365 days. So let's talk about the food. what were your meals that were your go-tos? Like anything in particular for breakfast, let's start with.
Yeah, I ended up kind of deciding that I love two different breakfasts. And if I only get 3 meals a day, I ask myself inside, what do I want to eat? Because I'm not going to make myself choke down a meal and then only get 3 meals a day, right? So I always kind of want the same thing. So my favorite forever was 3 rice cakes. You have to weigh them because not all rice cakes are the same, but it's an ounce. So 2 ounces of peanut butter, and then I would slice up bananas and put it on that. And then I kind of grew from that to any fruit. So 3 rice cakes, 2 ounces of peanut butter, and any fruit. And then I kind of got tired of that eventually and wanted to try something new and thought, well, maybe I'll try yogurt, Greek yogurt. So I remember asking, and I used to hate Greek yogurt. Like it was so gross. So then I tried that and loved it. It tasted so good. And so then I would do like 6 ounces of frozen blueberries. I break my proteins up. So I would do 4 ounces of Greek yogurt and like an ounce of nuts. I would take like those rice cakes and I'd crumble them down like granola, or I would have them on the side just dry. I would take like coconut extract in a little spritzer, and I'd spritz some of that on, or almond extract in a spritzer, just to kind of give a little bit of a hint. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I've never thought of doing it.
Yeah, I'd mix that all up, and that's my favorite. And then I learned how to have both, because some mornings I couldn't decide which one I wanted. So I would do my 3 rice cakes. I would do 1 ounce of peanut butter, and then I would water it down with, I would thin it down with hot water, which it starts to bind. And then if you just keep mixing, it'll release and become soft again. And then I could spread that on my 3 rice cakes and still have my fruit, my half protein of yogurt and nuts. So
I'm hearing a theme of rice cakes.
I kind of eat a lot. Remember, I'm gluten-free, so I'm not.
That's right.
Yeah, and oatmeal doesn't fill me up. If I eat oatmeal, I find that I'm hungry. Recently, I've done cooked rice. So I'll do the same thing, but instead of rice cakes, I add cooked rice to the yogurt, and that's really fun. So that's kind of my go-to breakfast. My go-to lunch is always the same. I make a giant bowl once a week of salad. This is like a big giant Tupperware, and this is like a base of salad, and then I put all the vegetables in it I want, and I keep it in that big bowl. And then for lunch, I just pull out 10 ounces of that, because I do 10 ounces at lunch and 10 ounces at dinner. And then for my dressings, I do lots of different things. I like to pre-do dressing. So this is the protein. So 4 ounces of hummus, which is your protein, 1 tablespoon of oil, which is your fat. And then there's 2 tablespoons. You can do as many tablespoons as you want. I personally just like 2 of apple cider vinegar, which is free. It just kind of gives it kind of a zippy. And then I pour this on my salad, and that's my whole lunch. And then I add fruit.
That's a lot of salad dressing. I mean, seriously. But you make a big salad. Are you doing?
It is a big salad. That's a big salad. It's not dripping wet, but it's nice and yummy. Like it's not dry. It's really
way more than a tablespoon that I'm throwing on.
Of oil or something. But now I do. Now I do different things. Sometimes if I want to chew my protein instead of have it in my dressing, I'll do meat with a tablespoon. Yeah, but anyways, and then I'll make like 7 jars of these and have this in the fridge. So then I'll microwave this for 20 seconds. And then throw it over my salad, and it's so fast and so easy. So if I'm going out of town, or if I'm going out or something, I'll just take this and I'll take my container of salad. That's so easy. That's what I mean when I say it had to be easy for me, or I wouldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. I shut down when it gets too overwhelming. And this takes me 40 seconds.
Those are cute little jars. Did you order them somewhere?
I had these. These are just, this came with a yogurt maker that I had. These are like yogurt containers. But baby food jars would be great. I just didn't have any.
Okay. Well, those are great. And in the salad mix itself, I'm taking some different kinds of lettuce. What are your?
Like a red leaf romaine, because it's pretty. I like to try to get colors, because if I'm going to eat it, I want my brain to know I'm eating it, and I want it to think it's pretty. I don't know. And so I like colors. So I like that. And I like Boston lettuce or butter lettuce. It's a really soft, silky lettuce. And then I'll do shredded carrots, or I'll do a shredded cold slaw, or I'll do a shredded broccoli slaw. And then I'll cube up peppers, but I make them red and yellow because the salad's green. So I want colors. And then I'll do cauliflower. Sometimes I find purple cauliflower. That's really fun. White cauliflower. I'll do mushrooms. I've chopped up asparagus. I've done onions before. Anything you want, just not tomatoes, not anything wet.
Okay.
Yeah, because I just keep it in a big bowl.
And do you do 10 and 10 for lunch and dinner? Okay.
Yeah. And then for dinner, I usually have at all times in my fridge like a rotisserie chicken that I've de-skinned and deboned. That's always in a Tupperware thing. I just always have leftovers, like always have leftovers of this kind of stuff. I'll make vegetables, like massive amounts of vegetables, and have them in a container, like, you know, what's it called, in the oven?
I think you were talking about roasted vegetables the other day.
I'll do that. And so I'll ask myself what I want to eat. I do this every day. So it's like, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just have this leftover tilapia from last night. And I want the asparagus that I had left over. And I just throw it together in like I said, 40 seconds. It has to be simple or I can't, you know.
Well, you mentioned
I very rarely cook a recipe, very rarely. It takes me 20 times longer to cook a recipe than it does for me to just throw food on a plate.
So you keep things very simple.
Yeah.
And the other day you said something that really made me interested. You said, you know how like we can get 2 ounces of marinara or whatever? You sometimes use 2 ounces more of vegetables instead?
I do.
I'm thinking, why not? I mean, if it works for you, if that's not too many vegetables for you, I would think it's about the same.
I love them. Yeah, I usually honestly do like 12 ounces of salad. But now that I'm trying to get down to my goal weight, I'm cutting back to 10 because I feel like I'm having to tighten down a titch because I'm so close to goal. But yeah, those 2 extra ounces, you know, you could have a pickle, you can have extra vegetables.
And so you've got the week pretty much planned out. You have your salad made, which is a huge, huge deal. Your dressing's made, and you use the same thing. You are totally, as Deb said, automaticity at its finest. How long did it take to get automatic like that? Or what? I mean, you're sounding like you're doing this right from day one with the rice cakes and everything.
Well, no, day one, if you go back and look at all my foods, you'll kind of see me settle into that. I mean, I used to do 2 eggs and I would do sweet potatoes and I would do fruit, but eggs sometimes hurt my belly. Like it just took me a minute to get to the point where I knew that I liked that better. I got COVID last fall and it messed with my taste and smell. And so peanut butter is one of the things that tastes funny now, but the texture is still great. So I still eat it. It just doesn't taste right. A lot of things don't taste right anymore. But anyways, yeah.
I have a question about what you do for eating out, because I know we talked about that too, that you are now going out more often. You know, we all are really after COVID. What do you look for?
Honestly, when I lost most of that weight, I did not eat out like ever. Now I do go out more socially. I really only know how to eat 2 places. I know how to eat at a steakhouse, like Texas Roadhouse or like a Longhorn Steakhouse or something like that. I get a steak or I'll get a salmon. I'll ask them to keep the butter light. And then for the vegetables, I'll just do like a steamed. So like Texas Roadhouse is my easiest. I like to get the 6-ounce steak and then I eat 4 ounces of it. And then I get the 2 sides are just the steamed vegetables. And that's kind of it. Because it has a little bit of butter on it. So I'm just assuming that's my fat. Or I know how to eat at like a Cafe Rio or a Costa Vida. So then I just go and they ask me what I want and I'll say I want a salad, whatever it is. I'll say I want a grilled chicken salad with no tortilla, no rice, no beans. And they look at me like I'm crazy because like, what's the point, right? So then they just put the meat in the bottom and then I tell them to put as much salad in there as they can. And I want it like heaping. And then I tell them 4 scoops of pico. So they'll just load on the pico. And then I just do 1 scoop of guac, lime, cilantro, and that's all.
And it looks like this huge event. And
I know, I'm obnoxious. And then I go to pay for it and I'm like, but I don't have a tortilla or rice or beans. It's just lettuce and meat. Yeah.
what have you found to be the most surprising thing about this whole ordeal, with going from almost feeling like you were dying to now today? And you've had, a couple ups and downs, but
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked me that. First of all, that I could do it and that I've done it. Like what? And then B, I'm so in awe and humbly just grateful that my body can heal. I never in this lifetime thought that I would ever be in a right size body again and see my body in a way that was healthy. And I never thought that I could lose weight and my skin could go back to where it needed to be and the sleep apnea could go away. I mean, never ever. I thought I would die with these things. I mean, I really thought I would die with these things. And the fact that my body can heal. I'm 46 and the miracle of my body, I put it through 26 years of absolute abuse.
well, it wasn't on purpose. I mean,
Well, I mean, no, but
you're talking about the abuse of also ups and downs, all of these diets. It's like once you get on this roller coaster, it's not fun. And it's the real deal. Like, you really are on a roller coaster and trying to get off, trying to lose the weight. You're making the effort, and probably spending a bunch of money in between all of that, so it's, that's the tough stuff. So
that's the other thing that's so cool. I spent 0 pennies on this. Jenny sent me the book for free because she's so kind and generous. And then I spent 0 pennies. I've done nothing, but right. It's just a miracle. It really is. I'm so excited about it, really.
There's a question. Do you see yourself skinny?
I saw that on there. I'm a size 4. But my brain won't believe it. So I'll go to the store and I'll pull like a 6 or I'll pull like an 8 or I'll pull a 4, but I don't believe, or like a small or an extra small. And I'm just like, there's no way. I went to the store with my daughter and I was so sad because I wanted to buy these pants and I waited because I just do that. But when I went back into the store, they didn't have an 8 and I was so sad. And so I grabbed a 6 and I tried them on with my daughter and she's like, Mom, those are too big. I said, there's no way I can be a 4. There's no way. But I went and tried them on and they fit. So no, my brain is still like, I'm like, no, yes, but no.
It's incredible. It is a miracle. I think it's just absolutely amazing. And I know you said that you do treat yourself, but hearing it from you, what do you do for self-care?
Oh, so I have a dress problem. I love to go shopping for dresses because I can wear dresses now and they're so fun and I feel pretty in a dress. And so I kind of have a closet full of dresses now. If I'm feeling sad, I'll go dress shopping. I buy dresses. I don't know.
I could think of worse things. Yeah. Well, as we're getting closer to the end here, I do have a couple things. You are right now in still the midst of kind of finding your way out of the brownie incident, right? I mean, and you're still working your way through. Are you using anything to help you with the hunger piece? Like in between, like bottled water, anything like that? What are you doing?
And the hunger is there stronger than it was when I started this journey. I don't know. This is just telling you, don't start. No, because you do 3 meals a day and that's it. But I remember in the past I did herbal tea, and I'm going to have to remember that and pull that out because I do struggle with hunger. Yeah. But see, I mean, guys, so the brownies happened, that happened. And then it turns into something like, ooh, Chinese food, right? And I'm like, let's go to Chinese food. And then I'm like, well, we did Chinese food. So how about some ice cream? And then I found, and then the ice cream. And so, I'm like 4 days bright again, but it's like I fall for a day and then I'm like bright for 7 days and then I fall and then I'm bright for 4 days and then I fall. So the hunger and the food chatter, I'm just really trying to still get a grip on this.
I have an idea. I'm just going to put it out here. Maybe you could do your log of your meals for 30 days in the Starting Out Bright group. Think
I
about
love
that
that.
as a challenge. It doesn't have to start today, but think about it as a challenge for yourself, because I think that would be very cool. And it
Yeah.
worked one time. Once you get the mind thinking again, like, I have this integrity, I'm just going to do it. I'm committing to it.
I love that you said that, because I just learned about habit stacks. I've heard people say habit stacks. I'm like, what is a habit stack? I don't even know what that means. And they said it's the things that you did regularly, not food. It has nothing to do. It's the other things that you did regularly. Because they're like, when you fall off the wagon, that's what I call it, you usually have let go of some of your other habits first. And honestly, this was new to me. I literally just learned about this like 2 days ago. And posting my food, that habit was one of my habits, and I stopped it in January of this year. And so you're right. I feel like that could be a really good tool to help me stay accountable and help me for sure.
And it would help a lot of people,
Yeah.
seeing your beautiful meals. I really think that might. So as we are thinking about all this, you had so many health situations that it sounds like have been reversed. Are those your biggest non-scale victories then?
I'm going to say sure, absolutely yes. But my most favorite non-scale victory is this bone. I have a bone right here, and I was so stoked. It's the happiest thing. Look I have bones. So yeah,
For those on podcasts, we're looking at the collarbones here.
I have bones. I didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the miracle. I mean, I know thin people that are really thin that struggle with, heart problems and cholesterol. And I'm pretty grateful that I am healthy inside my body.
And
But
are you
really,
exercising now? I mean, you were an athlete way back when. Are you exercising now?
well, you're not supposed to be exercising, but
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Now, right? So, the other day I was like, I wonder, because I'd rather die than jog. I'm like, I wonder if I could jog a mile, which to me sounded like, I mean, it might as well have been 30 miles, right? So I got on a treadmill just for fun to see how long I could last. And I punched out that mile in like 12 minutes, and it was awesome. And I stopped at a mile because that's what I told myself I would go to, but I did it quite easily. So, no, I have not like officially started exercising, but I know I'm capable of it. So that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Well, Jaleh, here we are, and you've shared so much. What would you say to somebody who is listening, and it may be the first time that they've even heard of Bright Line Eating, just like you did with the Facebook thing? Like, what is this Bright Line Eating? What would you say to them if they were in the same position you were, that January last year?
Definitely read the book. A lot of people ask me what it is and then they jump right in. Read the book because you need to see if that science clicks for you. If that's the thing that's it has to make sense for you, or else you're not going to have the support inside your brain to keep you going. But just your body can heal. Your ailments can be healed. Your body is such a miraculous machine. It can heal. And those things that you're suffering with, you can heal those things and not need the doctors and the medications. And I'm on zero medication, but yeah, there's hope. There's
so amazing. So amazing. What an incredible, incredible journey. Thank you so much, Jaleh, for sharing with us. So inspiring. I mean, you said so many times, if I only get 3 meals. And it's true. We only get 3 meals, but wow, what those 3 meals can do each day. I mean, to reverse all those things for you, your health conditions, I mean, to go from almost feeling like dying, and there's got to be something that I'm just not right here.
Can I share one more thing really fast?
Yes.
So I remember when I was really big and just struggling, and I remember thinking to myself, because I was thin before, and I remember thinking, looking at people my age that were thin and healthy and just thinking, if I was that person, what would that have looked like my whole life? Like, what would I have eaten? Like carrots and like lettuce? Like, what would that have even looked like if I had a healthy sized body? and I didn't like formally pray that, but I almost said it in my heart like a prayer. Like, what would that even have looked like? And then I met Bright Line Eating, and I eat those 3 meals a day. And I just remember eating my meals. And of course, I have this journal of pictures for a year of all these foods. And I just realized one day, that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like to be in a healthy size body. And it's amazing. These are beautiful foods. Like, that's pretty great that I don't have to eat carrots and lettuce all day. I can eat this and be in a healthy size body. And that was kind of like an answer to my prayer, you know.
So awesome. Well, I am going to close with that special thought and realizing all the hope that there is for anybody who's listening right now, that one day at a time, 3 meals a day, you know, bright and beautiful foods can be healing your body and, you know, getting you to a right size body. It may take a little while. Like I'm going on 3 years, but I'm close. I'm past 90 pounds lost. Hooray. And I'm still going and still enjoying it. And taking heed from all those who give the cautionary tales too, truly, that none is easier than one, because I don't know what for me is on the other side of a cookie. I really don't know. That's why I haven't eaten one in 3 years, because I don't know and I don't want to find out. So that is just more inspiration for me personally, and I'm sure everyone here. So thank you, Jaleh, and I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being here, everyone. I'm going to close as I do each week. Good night. Stay bright. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Good night, everybody. So, Jaleh, how would you like to play 3-Question Thursday?
Sure.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think you were very humble about this cooking stuff, because when we talked the other day, you also said you kind of like spices. What are your favorites to use?
Oh, I should have had them all out here. There's one called Everything But the Bagel. There's oh my goodness, there's this really good one that I just found at Costco. It's like a mesquite barbecue seasoning. I like that one. There's one that's kind of a butter seasoning. I use seasonings for sure. For sure, I use seasonings. Curry, I like to use curry seasoning. I told you about the almond extract and the coconut extract in little spritzer bottles. I put them in little bottles.
So you buy them somewhere, like these spritzers?
The dollar store, just the dollar store, those little teeny, they're like a little teeny clear, like you put water in them, but I pour the extract in there. Yeah.
What do you think?
Ranch seasoning. I put that on my salads.
Okay, well, Deb Seasoning Babcock is saying Kinder's Buttery Steakhouse Seasoning. So that maybe is what you're talking about. Is that the one that? Okay. And I love organic.
Yeah, and there's a barbecue one.
Okay. So, you know, seasonings can do so much. Do you have a favorite anything that you do go to besides seasonings, like a favorite way that you make your roasted vegetables or anything like that? If you say, I'm going to do this today, is there one that you have a favorite of?
No, but I have a favorite tool. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
Can I have it? 2 seconds. Okay,
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
I love this.
Okay, I'm right here.
Okay.
Okay, this is like a life changer. This is like a game changer. It's this thing.
What is that?
It's a food chopper, and it's like a little vegetable chopper. And so I do everything. I'll put my cauliflower in this. I'll put my peppers in this. I'll put my onions in this. I'll put anything on this. And then you go like this, and then it chops it into those little squares into this thing in seconds. And it's so fast and so easy. And this is how I make my salad preps with this. So I never sit there with a knife and chop, chop, chop. Okay. This will change your life.
Is there a brand name to that?
Well, go to Amazon and look up food chopper. Okay. But I like the ones that look like this. So this comes off,
Okay.
And then this thing has different ones, but I always use this one that has kind of the bigger squares. There's a teeny tiny one, but I don't use that one. Anyways, this thing, if the house is on fire, we grab this.
I love that. Wow, that is a testimonial right there. Okay. Third question. This is for it. This is for all the marbles. If you could go back to the Jaleh of January 1st and this whole journey ahead of her, what would you say to her?
What my dreams were in my head, they can all come true, and I can do it. I can do it.
Wow.
And my body and my spirit can match.
Love
And that's
it.
cool. When you feel like that, that's true integrity. That's real integrity.
And your body has healed.
Mm-hmm.
Such a beautiful thing.
And such a gift, right? So
A
cool.
gift you're giving yourself, your children. You know, this is integrity and a legacy. I mean, you are changing your life, like so much for the good. So, Jaleh, thank you so much again for sharing your story, your inspiration, and great information. And thank you for playing 3-Question Thursday. It's been a delight. Love it. Good night, everybody. Stay bright.